My fiancée's childhood friend lost the round. And they drank a linked arm toast together. She set down her glass. A flicker of panic in her eyes. Ethan. I just think of Jared as a little brother. It's just a game. Don't overthink it. Everyone in the room was looking at me with complicated expressions. I kept my face blank and gestured for the game to continue. I lost the next round. The dare, kiss any person of the opposite sex in the room. My childhood friend played right along. Leaning in before I even had to ask. I kissed her without hesitation. When we finally pulled apart, I looked at my seething fiancé with a mocking smile. I've always thought of Ivy as a little sister. It's just a game. Don't you overthink it either. I didn't expect my fiancé to completely lose it right then and there. Inside the private booth of the bar. The lighting was warm and intimate. The music low and thrumming. Our group was playing Truth or Dare. Jared lost and drew a dare card. Drink a linked arm toast with any member of the opposite sex present. He didn't hesitate for a second. His gaze locked straight onto my fiancée. Serena Hart. Serena. I just got back to the country. And you're really the only person I know here. Help me out. Yeah. Though I'm not sure if Ethan will be mad about it. He threw me a provocative look as he said it. I acted like I hadn't seen the challenge. A slow, knowing smile tugged at the corner of my mouth. If they wanted to play games, I'd give them a game worth playing. Fiancés weren't irreplaceable. I didn't have to marry her. Seeing that I wasn't saying anything, Serena waved a hand dismissively. Oh please. Why would he be mad? Ethan's not that petty. Maybe it was the alcohol. Maybe it was something else. A faint blush colored Serena's cheeks. She glanced at me. And when I didn't blow up, a flicker of surprise crossed her face. She was perfectly casual about it. Picking up her glass and wrapping her arm through Jared's for the toast. She set down her glass and frowned slightly. Ethan. I just think of Jared as a little brother. It's just a game. Don't overthink it. An eerie silence fell over the table. Everyone was staring at me with those same complicated looks. Someone coughed to cover the awkwardness. Someone stared down at their phone like it was the most interesting thing in the world. Most eyes bounced back and forth between, and the three of us. Only Ivy Lane, my childhood friend sitting right beside me, looked like she was enjoying herself. A sweet, innocent smile never left her lips. I waved a hand. What's everyone staring at me for? Keep going. Keep going. Fate has a cruel sense of humor sometimes. I didn't expect the next loser to be me. I flipped the card. It read, kiss any person of the opposite sex in the room. Ivy played right along. She threw Serena a taunting look of her own. Then leaned toward me. Ethan. We grew up together. I guess I can let you kiss me. Just this once. Though I'm not sure if Serena will be mad about it. I grinned. Relax. Your Serena's way too generous to get mad about something like this. Right. I didn't hesitate. I pulled her into my arms. And kissed her square on the mouth. When we pulled apart, I looked at my trembling, furious fiancé with nothing but mockery. I've always thought of Ivy as a little sister. It's just a game. Don't you overthink it either. Serena's eyes went red instantly. She shot to her feet, glaring daggers at me. Like I'd committed some unforgivable, monstrous sin. The glass in her hand shattered against the floor. Shatters and golden liquor sprayed everywhere. Everyone nearby jumped back. Startled. Jared recovered from his shock first. He looked absolutely indignant. Ethan. Serena's right here. And you're kissing another girl. That's messed up. Ethan. Serena's voice was gritted out between clenched teeth. Loud enough to make my ears ring. You owe me a real explanation right now. I swirled the drink in my glass. Lifted my eyes. And looked at her with nothing but cold amusement. An explanation. What about? It's just a game. Can't you be a little more mature about this? Making a scene in front of everyone. Is that really necessary? I've always thought of Ivy as a sister. If something was going on between us, why would I be with you? I rubbed my temple and kept going. Serena. Stop being so bitter and paranoid all the time. Do you have any idea how exhausting you are? Every single word was something she'd said to me. Ever since Jared came back. Now they came back like a boomerang. Landing right back in her chest. Serena's face went deathly pale. She stared at me like she couldn't believe what she was hearing. Like she couldn't believe those words were coming out of my mouth. My manipulative childhood friend sighed at just the right moment. Her eyes welled up with tears. Soft and fragile. Serena. Don't be upset. Ethan and I grew up together. We used to share the same bed when we were little. There's nothing between us. Nothing at all. If I'm causing problems in your relationship, I'll just leave. I quickly grabbed Ivy's wrist as she made to leave. Then turned a sharp look on Serena. Serena. You're scaring her. Apologize to Ivy. Now. Serena froze like she'd been struck by lightning. Her eyes darted between me and Ivy, finally settling on my hand. Wrapped tight around Ivy's wrist. Apologize. She laughed suddenly. A bitter, broken sound. And pointed at Ivy. Ethan. You want me to apologize to her? Ivy huddled closer to me, her voice trembling with tears. Ethan. Don't. It's my fault. Don't fight because of me. Please. You hear that? I looked coldly at Serena. Ivy's this kind. And she's still trying to protect you. And you. What do you do besides throw tantrums? Watching Serena's face twist with rage gave me a vicious kind of satisfaction. Your childhood friend's been back what? A few days. And you lied about working late just to go out to dinner and movies with him. And now you're drinking linked arm toasts in front of all these people. What? You get to flirt with your little friend. But I can't hang out with mine. Serena. Don't be such a hypocrite. Serena's jaw was clamped so tight I could see the muscle working. But she couldn't argue. Finally she ground her teeth, turned, and stormed out, slamming the door behind her. Jared threw me one venomous look and hurried after her. I refilled my glass and drained it in one go. My mind drifted back to when I first met Serena. Back in college. Serena only had eyes for me. Everyone said she was my shadow. After my basketball games, she'd be the first one over with a bottle of water. Every morning she'd bring me breakfast she'd made herself. She'd get to lecture hall early, just to save me a seat. Sophomore year, I twisted my ankle playing basketball. My ankle swelled up huge. She spent almost 3 weeks at the hospital, taking care of me around the clock. By the time I was discharged, she'd lost so much weight. But she was grinning like an idiot, following me everywhere. She said, Ethan, from now on I'm your personal crutch. In that moment, her smile outshone every flower in the world. At the New Year's Eve gala that year, she went up on stage in a white dress and sang. She was breathtaking. When the song ended, she didn't leave the stage. Instead, she confessed her feelings to me in front of the entire school. Ethan, I like you. So much. I want to be with you forever. Will you be my boyfriend? The whole auditorium erupted in cheers and whistles. I've always been a little slow when it comes to things like that. I watched her standing up there on that stage. The light in her eyes was brighter than the stage lights themselves. The heat in her gaze made my heart skip a beat. With everyone watching, I ran up onto the stage and pulled her into my arms. Her hot tears fell onto my neck. She said, Ethan, I finally got you. In that moment, all the cheering in the auditorium faded away. There was nothing in my world but her tear-streaked smile. She'd been so brave, standing in front of thousands of people and laying her heart bare for me. I swore to myself right then, I'd never let her be hurt. Not ever. After that, we were the most envied couple on campus. She was always hanging off my arm, bouncing when she walked like she'd never grow up. Every time I looked down at her, she was smiling like the sun, like I was her whole world. We moved in together after graduation. I was busy building my startup back then. She tried to learn how to cook, clumsy as she was, always cutting or burning herself. It broke my heart every time. I'd sit her on my lap and carefully bandage her up. I said, Serena, let's just eat out from now on. Okay. She pouted at me. No way. I want you eating food I made. That pout was so cute. I couldn't help myself. I kissed her. For my birthday that year. She secretly planned everything for weeks. She invited all our mutual friends. Cooked an entire feast by herself. All just to surprise me. I loved her more and more as the years went by. I'd skip work events whenever I could, just to spend more time with her. We'd watch movies, go shopping, go to concerts. I'd put real thought into gifts for every holiday and occasion. When I had time, I'd cook for her myself. The day I proposed, my palms were sweating so bad. She covered her mouth, crying, and threw her arms around me. nodding so hard. She said, "Ethan. I've waited 6 whole years for this. But 2 months before our wedding, her childhood friend, Jared, came home. And everything changed. She'd worked 9 to 5 for years. Never once staying late. Suddenly she was always working late. Coming home later and later. At first, I didn't suspect anything. Until a random number texted me, saying he was Serena's childhood friend. He sent me dozens of photos. Turns out she'd been spending all that time with Jared shopping. Movies. Concerts. They looked close. Like a couple. I called Serena over and over. She sent every call to voicemail. Then she just turned her phone off entirely. It was almost midnight when Jared showed up with Serena. Drunk and swaying on her feet. She was practically leaning all her weight on him. Jared looked at me. Smug. "You must be Ethan. Right? Don't be mad at Serena." "Okay. I was having a bad night. And I made her stay and drink with me. Blame me. This is all my fault." Serena sobered up fast when she saw my face. She practically shoved Jared out the door. Then turned and glared at me. "Ethan. Jared's still just a kid. Why are you giving him that look? You're scaring him." I held in my anger and shoved the photos in his face. "A kid. He's, what? A year or 2 younger than us. A 26-year-old kid. He sent me these photos to rub it in. And you're calling him a kid? Do you think I'm stupid?" Serena's eyes darted away. I swatted the ceramic figurine we'd made together off the table. It shattered on the floor. "Serena. You lied about working late every night just to mess around with your little friend." She got defensive. Raising her voice. "Ethan. I just didn't want you getting the wrong idea. When did you become so unreasonable? Can you stop being so jealous? I've always thought of Jared as a brother. If something was going on between us, why would I be with you all these years? Ethan. Stop being so bitter and paranoid all the time. Do you have any idea how exhausting you are? I'm unreasonable. I'm the bitter one." I looked at the woman who used to look at me like I hung the moon. And I barely recognized her. We slept in separate rooms that night. The next week was radio silence between us. My company startup had never paid out dividends. I'd poured every dollar back into growth. This year everything blew up. Revenue was multiplying. We were on track to go public next year. I didn't have time to deal with Serena's drama. I was focused on work. Serena must have realized she'd gone too far. Jared hit her up a bunch that week. And she turned him down every time. She started coming home early again. Like old times. A week later. She curled up next to me. "Ethan. I was wrong. I shouldn't have lied to you. But Jared has terminal cancer. He doesn't have much time left. I just want to be there for him while I can. Can you please not be mad?" I thought it was the dumbest thing I'd ever heard. Jared looked perfectly healthy. He could go shopping. He could drink. How was any of that terminal cancer? But I was done fighting with her. When I found out Jared was coming to the group party, I knew he'd cause trouble. If she was going to bring her childhood friend, I'd bring mine. Everybody's got one. After the party, Ivy tugged on my arm, pouting playfully. "So, Ethan. How'd I do? I didn't let you down, did I?" I ruffled her hair. "Fond. You were perfect. I can't believe how much better you've gotten at this little game of yours." Ivy held her chin up. Proud as anything. "All right. I'm heading out. Text me next time you need me. I won't let you down." Ivy had only been drinking juice all night, so she drove herself home. I called a rideshare. When I got home, Serena was sitting on the couch in the dark, just staring at nothing. Moonlight stretched her shadow long across the floor. I flipped the light switch. The whole living room flooded with light. That's when I saw her red, puffy eyes. She'd been crying. "Ethan. Can we talk?" Her voice was rough. Exhausted. I sat down across from her. My tone cold and distant. "Talk about what? Your terminally ill little brother friend? Or my childhood friend?" Serena got angry. "Ethan. Don't call her your sister. I'm a woman too. I see the way she looks at you. Don't act like I don't know." I smiled. Bitter. "Oh. Really? And you see the way Jared looks at you? You think I don't notice?" Serena froze. Tears welled up in her eyes. "Ethan. You brought Ivy here on purpose to make me jealous. Didn't you? I told you already. Jared has terminal cancer. The doctors say he might only have 3 months. He just wants me to spend time with him before the end. What's wrong with that? Why do you have to make such a big deal out of it? I laughed. Cold. Terminal cancer. Does he look sick to you? You believe everything he says. Fine. Let's say he really is dying. Doesn't he have family? Why does it have to be you? Every single day. Serena opened her mouth and couldn't answer. Just then, her phone rang. Jared's name lit up the screen. Serena answered. And panic flashed across her face immediately. Jared. What's wrong? Why are you in the hospital? Okay. Hold on. I'm on my way. She grabbed her bag and rushed out like I wasn't even there. Didn't glance at me once. In that moment, I was done. Completely. I called my parents and told them the wedding was off. They panicked. Asking what happened. Serena had met my parents before Jared came back. She'd been wonderful to them. She'd call every holiday to check in. She'd send them clothes and care packages. 3 months ago, my parents came to visit Harbor City. I had an emergency at work that I had to handle in person. Serena found out and immediately took 3 days off. She showed them around for 3 whole days. Took them to all the Instagram-worthy spots. All the best restaurants. When they got home, they called me specifically to say how much they loved her. How sweet and thoughtful she was. They kept pushing us to get married sooner. Told me not to let a girl like that get away. And that they wanted grandkids already. I'd promised them I would. Then I started planning the proposal. I never expected that the second Jared came back, she'd turn into a completely different person. I told them everything that had happened. They went quiet on the other end of the line for a long time. Finally they sighed and said they'd respect my decision. They were hurt too. I could hear it. I hung up and called a private investigator. Look into someone for me. Jared Cole. I want everything. I'll send you his info right now. Even if I wasn't marrying Serena. I wasn't about to let those two get away with it. The next day, I had to fly overseas for a business deal. Ivy happened to be on PTO. I asked if she wanted to come along. Get a vacation out of it. She said yes before I finished asking. The deal was basically done already. This trip was just signing papers. Formalities. I wrapped everything up in a single day. The second day overseas, I took Ivy to the beach. When she took off her cover-up and I saw her in that bikini, I couldn't look away. I knew she was gorgeous. But I had no idea her body was like that. Curves in all the right places. Long, pale legs and a tight, toned stomach. I almost got a nosebleed. Ivy caught me staring and did a little spin. Waves lapping at her ankles. What do you think? I picked this out forever ago. Cute. I cleared my throat. Trying to play it cool. It's nice. Could use less fabric. Though. She blushed bright red and pretended to be mad. She leaned in. Voice playful and hopeful. So. Who's prettier? Me. Or Serena? Take a guess. Ivy kept tugging on my arm. Teasing. Until I said she was prettier. Then she finally let me off the hook. We took tons of photos together after that. A lot of them looked intimate. Ivy insisted I give her Serena's Instagram. My childhood friend was really good at this kind of thing. Back in high school. I was good looking. Good at basketball. Top of my class. Girls were always asking me out. I couldn't keep count. Ivy said I was too young to date. And volunteered to be my bodyguard. She was always right there next to me. Calling me Ethan. Being sweet and clingy in front of everyone. Posting vague stuff on social media that made people think we were together. All to scare off the girls who were interested. And it worked. Because of her. I actually focused on studying all through high school. Got into the college I'd always dreamed of. She didn't get in. Though. She was heartbroken about it for a long time. I knew exactly why she wanted Serena's Instagram. She wanted to get under her skin. I had no reason to say no. Frankly. I wanted to make those two miserable. I sent her both Serena and Jared's accounts. Not long after. Ivy posted. A 9-grid post. Caption. Ethan says I'm prettier than someone I know. 3 little heart emojis. As provocative as it got. Sure enough. Within half an hour. Serena was blowing up my phone. I was laying on a beach chair in my sunglasses. Sipping wine. I hit silent and tossed my phone aside. I wasn't about to let Serena ruin my vacation. Ivy ran back from the water. Barefoot. Water droplets ran down her long legs. Why aren't you answering? Not important. Not worth my time. I tossed her a towel. Having fun. She dried her hair with it. Eyes bright. So much fun. Although. She leaned in. Grinning. I think Serena's losing her mind in my comments. I raised an eyebrow and grabbed my phone. Serena had left 7 or 8 comments under the 9-grid post. Ivy. Have you no shame? Ethan, you bastard. You're actually with her. Where are you? Tell Ethan to answer his phone right now or I'm actually furious. Ivy. These are staged. Aren't they? You tell Ethan he's just doing this to make me jealous. Real mature. Tell him his little games aren't working. I'm not falling for it. Back in Harbor City. At the hospital. Jared was laying in bed scrolling Instagram. And his face twisted with anger. Serena. You and Ethan are supposed to get married soon. And he's out with another woman. You deserve so much better than this. Serena looked almost smug. Jared. Don't worry about it. Ethan loves me more every year. He can't live without me. He would never cheat on me. He's just letting Ivy post this stuff because he's jealous of you. He's trying to make me mad. I never realized he could be so childish. Serena's eyes lit up like she'd just an idea. Jared. I don't like the idea of you living alone. When you get out of here, you should stay with me. Teach Ethan a lesson. Let him see what's what. Jared was thrilled. But he didn't let it show. Okay. Serena. Whatever you say. Ivy and I spent 3 days at the beach before flying back home. There was no sign Serena had been there. Good. I liked the quiet. I laid down and caught up on sleep. The next morning, I packed up all of Serena's things. She could get out when she got back. I was planning to move within the month. I'd poured all my profits back into the company over the years. This place was a rental. I wasn't renewing the lease. Business was good this year. I didn't need to be frugal anymore. While I was overseas, I'd had my assistant start apartment hunting near the office. I'd buy a condo close to work first. Once the company went public, I'd look for a house. I'd just finished packing Serena's stuff when the front door opened. Serena walked in, supporting Jared, who looked perfectly healthy. By the way, Jared saw me and gave me that same smug look he always did. Serena glanced at me, then set Jared's suitcase by the door. She looked at me and announced it like it was final. The doctor says Jared needs rest and quiet. I don't want him living alone. He's going to stay with us from now on. It'll be easier for me to take care of him. She hurried to add. It's not like we don't have the spare room. It's just one more mouth to feed. Jared wrapped an arm around Serena's and raised an eyebrow at me. I told Serena it wasn't necessary. Really? But she insisted. You don't mind. Right, Ethan? Even though I was already done with Serena. Hearing this from the woman I'd loved for 6 years still stunned me. She was unrecognizable. Jared noticed I was ignoring him. And something angry flickered across his face. Serena. He's not even talking to us. You don't think he's still playing hard to get? Do you? Serena patted his head. Fond? Forget him. He's just petty and jealous. That's all. Jared started walking further into the apartment. Hey. We didn't eat breakfast. I'm starving. Serena looked at me. Annoyed. Ethan. What are you just standing there for? You heard Jared. He's hungry. He's our guest. Go make us something. Jared looked even more pleased with himself. He walked right up to me, smiling. Thanks. Ethan. Oh. And I don't do spicy. And no cilantro. He didn't finish the sentence. I slapped him across the face. Fuck your cilantro. You manipulative little shit. I've been way too nice to you. Before he could react, I hit him again. And again. Smack. 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 Then I kicked him. Hard. Sending him flying. Jared slammed into the shoe cabinet with a loud crash. The guy was tougher than he looked. He was on his feet almost immediately. His cheek was already swelling. His eyes blazing as he charged at me. Ethan, you hit me. He yelled it at the top of his lungs. Not a trace of weakness or sickness in his voice. He must have realized it himself. Because he quickly dropped back to the floor. Groaning. Serena. It hurts. Am I dying? Ethan. Are you insane? Serena didn't notice a thing. She ran over to him, screaming. Then turned and glared at me. I looked at her coldly. Serena. This is my place. What made you think you could bring some guy in here? I picked up her packed bags and threw them out the door. Get out. You make me sick. Both of you. Get the fuck out. Serena's eyes went wide. She couldn't believe what she was hearing. Ethan. You're kicking me out. I stared her down. Dark and cold. What? You thought you could bring another man into my home and I'd just pretend nothing happened. Let me make this clear. Serena. We're done. Go run off with your precious little brother. I don't care. Just leave me the hell alone. Serena went pale. She bit her lip hard. Tears in her eyes. Ethan. Let me explain. Jared saw his opening and clutched his chest. Moaning. Serena. It hurts so bad. I think I'm bleeding inside. Serena. Am I gonna die? Serena panicked instantly. She helped him up and started toward the door. No. No. You're gonna be fine. I'm taking you to the hospital. Okay. At the door. She turned back to me. Ethan. I'm going to pretend you didn't say any of that. You're just angry. Jared doesn't have much time left. His only wish is to have a big wedding with me. Don't worry. It's just to make his wish come true. I'm still going to marry you. You just stay here and calm down. Then she hurried, off with Jared. Watching them leave. I knew there was no saving her. Right about then. The private investigator sent over everything he'd found. I opened the file and laughed. Oh. A fake wedding. Huh. Fine. I'll make sure to get you two a real nice wedding gift. My assistant was fast. She'd already found me a condo near the office. And I'd bought it. I spent the next couple of days moving. After that beach trip overseas. Ivy was even clingier than before. She was always sending selfies. Stockings. Lace. The whole 9 yards. She knew exactly what I liked. Somehow she found out about the new condo. She sent me this pathetic little video right away. She was wearing barely anything. And the camera was angled up at her. It made everything look impressive. You could see her apartment in the background, the one she shared with her best friend. Ethan. My office is so close to yours. Can I move in with you? My roommate's moving in with her boyfriend. I don't want to be alone. You know how pretty I am. What if something happens to me? She fake cried as she said it. Ethan. You said you'd always take care of me. You didn't forget. Did you? Iside amatisk. This girl had me wrapped around her finger since we were kids. I texted her back. Fine. Fine. I'll pick you up after work. She sent back a cute little emoji. Thank you. I knew you'd take care of me. After that, Ivy moved in. She didn't wear much around the apartment. Less and less every day. As soon as she got home, she'd flop on the couch. Those long pale legs swinging. Sometimes she'd do yoga. Positions I didn't even think were possible. It was impossible to look away. She was going to be the death of me. But the girl could keep a house. Everything was always clean. And she could cook. All my favorite things. A wee ek later. Serena and Jared actually had their big wedding. I wasn't about to miss that show. I brought Ivy as my plus one. The wedding hall was packed. Guests everywhere. Loud and celebratory. Ivy and I found a table in the back. Where we wouldn't be noticed. Jared was in his tux. Working the room. Basking in the congratulations from all their friends and family. The wedding march started. Serena walked out in her white dress. She was smiling. Soft and serene. She scanned the room. And when her eyes met mine, she flinched and looked away fast. That's when Ivy spoke up. Quiet and sad. Ethan. If Serena came back, would you take her back? I blinked. Surprised by the question. Of course not. We grew up together. You know me better than that. Once I make a decision, nothing changes it. Ivy's eyes welled up for some reason. She didn't look at me. She just kept talking. Ethan. Do you know why I kept you from dating all through high school? She didn't wait for me to answer. It's because. Her voice was soft. Almost sad. I've liked you since then. I froze. I'd never seen that look in her eyes before. I followed you around everywhere. Like a shadow. Scared off every girl who was interested. She laughed a little. Bitter. The truth is, I was just being selfish. I wanted all of your attention. For a second. The noise of the wedding faded away. There was nothing but her voice. And her teary eyes. Then you got into your dream school. And I didn't. I cried all night when the scores came out. Did you know that? She turned to me. Tears falling. So I applied to a school in the same city. I went to your New Year's Eve gala. You know. Sophomore year. I was gonna tell you. Finally. But. I was too late. I watched you two up on that stage. Hugging. And I cried. I told myself. Good. He finally found someone who makes him happy. I didn't reach out much after that. But I always kept tabs on you. Ethan. Do you know why I've stayed at this job for 3 years? It's not that I love the work. It's because I wanted to be closer to you. Something tight squeezed my chest. I grabbed her hand. She tried to pull away. But she couldn't. She stopped fighting it. She cried harder. I grabbed a tissue and dabbed at her cheeks. Just then, the MC walked out with a mic. Ladies and gentlemen, as we celebrate the union of Serena Hart and Jared Cole, let's take a look back at their beautiful love story. The whole room applauded. I leaned in close to Ivy's ear. Showtime. I'd paid off one of the venue staff to swap the wedding video. The big screen lit up. It wasn't sweet couple photos. It was a doctor's office. Jared was talking to his doctor, his cousin. Actually, Jared slipped an envelope of cash across the desk. He was all smiles. Greasy and ingratiating. Come on. Cuz. Make the reports worse. Tell her I only have a few weeks. The doctor pocketed the envelope, weighing it in his hand. And grinned. Jared. You're something else. You can fool her for a little while. But not forever. Sooner or later. Serena's gonna find out. Jared shrugged. Like it was nothing. Who cares? Once we have the wedding, I'll talk her into signing the license. What's done is done. What's she gonna do then? Throw a fit. Cry a little. And I know her. She'll forgive me eventually. I've got her all figured out. She's never getting away from me. After the video came photos Jared with different women. Overseas. Over the years. Graphic stuff. The whole room went dead silent. Then erupted. Every guest was staring at Jared. Shocked and horrified. Jared looked like he was about to pass out. White as a sheet. Shaking. No. That's not real. He was screaming. Shaking his head like a maniac. That video's fake. Someone's setting me up. He grabbed for Serena's hand. Serena. You have to believe me. I love you. Serena was already crying. Her face twisted with regret. She wrenched her hand away and slapped him across the face. Love me. Jared. I treated you like family. Like my own brother. And you played me for a fool. Jared. You bastard. Get out. Get away from me. Serena was sobbing. Looking around the room for me. But Ivy and I were already gone. Jared completely broke down under the stares and whispers. He was screaming 1 second. Cursing the next. Finally his parents dragged him out. Limp as a rag doll. The guests left pretty quickly after that. What should have been a beautiful wedding turned into the biggest joke anyone had ever seen. That night, Serena called me a dozen times. I got sick of it and blocked her number. All of them. I made Ivy block her too. The day after the wedding disaster, I ran into Serena at my office building. She looked terrible. Hair messy. Dark circles under her eyes. Like she hadn't slept at all. When she saw me, the tears came instantly. She ran at me, grabbing for my arm. Ethan. I'm sorry. I should have listened to you. Jared's a liar. Ethan. Why did you move? Why did you block me? Are you that mad at me? I stepped back, pulling my arm free. Ms. Hart. We broke up. Please don't touch me. The name stopped her cold. She cried harder. Ethan. 6 years. 6 years together. And you're calling me Ms. Hart. 6 years. I laughed. Bitter. You chose him. Over and over. Where were those 6 years then? Her voice broke. Pleading. Ethan. I know I messed up. Please. Can you forgive me? He was just so convincing. I had no idea he'd fake medical records. Enough. My voice was sharp. Serena. You spent all that time with him. He could walk around. Go out. Drink. He looked perfectly healthy. Did you really not notice? You knew he had a thing for you. And you let him get away with it. You even married him. What right do you have to stand here asking for forgiveness? She opened her mouth and couldn't say a word. It was rush hour. I didn't have time for this. I signaled security to deal with her and walked into the building. Behind me, I could hear her screaming and sobbing. Ethan. I'm sorry. Just listen to me. I've always loved you. For the next few days, Serena didn't even go to work. She just waited outside my building. Like a statue. Never moving. I never used the front entrance after work. I always left through the parking garage. One evening, I got off the elevator in the garage. Serena jumped out from behind a pillar. She ran at me, trying to hug me. And I pushed her away. Ethan. I've been thinking. I love you. Only you. Nothing happened between Jared and me. Nothing. Just give me another chance. Ethan. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. She scrambled up and tried again. And I stepped aside. She fell again. She just sat there on the ground, sobbing. I looked down at her. Ms. Hart. I told you last time. We're done. Whether anything happened or not, it doesn't matter to me. We were together 6 years. You know me. When I make a decision, it stays made. I don't love you anymore. Ms. Hart. So stop following me around. Let's both keep some dignity. I got in my car and drove away without looking back. In the rearview mirror, she was still on the ground, sobbing into her hands. I heard about what happened later. Through friends. The doctor got fired. Jared wouldn't leave Serena alone. He'd show up at her work, at her apartment, every single day. They fought constantly. Finally, Serena had enough. He cornered her in a stairwell. And she shoved him. Hard. He fell down the whole flight of stairs. Paralyzed. They said he'd never walk again. No chance of recovery. Serena was arrested. Charged with aggravated assault. 5. Maybe 6 years. From what I heard. A few days later, I got a letter from her. Sent from county jail. Ethan. I'm sorry. I keep thinking if Jared had never come along, I'd be your wife by now. I know it's too late to say any of this. This is all my fault. I did this to myself. I'm sorry. I hope you're happy. A year and a half later, my company went public. We rang the opening bell. The very next day, Ivy gave birth to our first child. Talk about double celebration. I held Ivy close, still weak from labor, and kissed her forehead. I love you, baby. Ivy squeezed my hand. I love you too.